welcome to another episode of Beards and Board Games with me, Georgie. Today, I'm just going to go through what I would class to be my top 5 most exciting GenCon releases of 2015. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and start it. So for number 5, or my number 5, I guess it would be like the least of my most interested, or my most interest goes as far as these games go, would be Blood Rage by Cool Mini or Not, designed by Eric Lang. Blood Rage looks like it's got amazing miniatures. I really like the look of the gameplay, as in, you know, Viking clan lords are dying and going to Asgard to get more sort of gain more victory points or more heroic points or whatever it seems to be. The minis look amazing, as much as I've heard they don't really play a huge part in it. But the gameplay itself is still supposed to be brilliant, so I'm really looking forward to this one, and I can't wait to actually get hold of a copy. Number 4 for me is going to be Medieval Academy by Yellow. The game itself seems to be you are a squire sort of trying to receive more training than anyone else to end up sort of being the best sort of knight, and at the end it seems to be the winner gets knighted by King Arthur. That sounds completely awesome to me. I've seen a couple of reviews out for this already. To be honest, I actually thought this game was kind of out. So when I was reading that Yellow's actually release of the game is going to happen at GenCon, I was like, oh, okay, I thought the game was out already. But you know, the more and more I read about it, the more and more interest I have in this game, and it, you know, for a small sort of family-based card game, it certainly seems like something I'll be interested in. So that is Medieval Academy. Okay, my number 3 is going to be Champions of Midgard, and that's by Grey Fox Games. It appears to be, from what I can see and from what I've read, a worker placement game, kind of like Lords of Waterdeep, but with dice and Vikings. my second Viking game on the list so far. The game itself looks really cool. I like the idea of sort of rolling to trying to get your Viking warriors to protect this sort of harbour area from all sorts of these different monsters, as in orcs, trolls. Is there anything specific? I haven't got anything else in specific monsters, but it does seem to be that it's going to be full of all sorts of mythological beasts and creatures that you're just going to have to fend off. Sort of sending people here to gain these sort of resources, to gain these sort of dice, to roll them, to, it seems to be sort of to gain the Viking warriors, to attack, to defend this harbour thing. So it does really seem like that. It seems like the kind of game that I'm really going to like. Plus, I like the name, the artwork looks great as well. So let's see how Champions of Midgard goes, and that's my number 3. Okay, my number 2 is New York 1901. Now, the game itself, I think, doesn't look too aesthetically pleasing, but as far as the gameplay looks, sort of card drafting and collecting to sort of play certain buildings, which all sort to be sort of Tetris-y shaped, kind of, I guess would be the best way to describe it. They're all sort of different shapes, but everyone has their own little areas to where they can place their buildings, and obviously you then try and upgrade your buildings as best you can in these financial districts to sort of what I guess is to be to gain the most points and to end up sort of claiming victory in the end, whoever has the most. So it does seem like a really fun game. I did hear somebody already say that why have they made the game flat, sort of with the cards being like just, the buildings are shaped in such a way that they, like a taller building will be sort of oblong shaped and be longer in regards to taller, so the game is flat and not high. But the game itself still looks really fun. I've seen a couple of reviews of it so far, or sort of previews for it so far. But what can I say? The game does look great. So that's my number 2, New York 1901. Okay, so my number 1 most anticipated game to come out, which I believe to be the actual release of the game this time, because let's face it, people have been talking about it for ages, and we've seen a couple of reviews, we've seen how it plays, we've seen the box, and it looks great. Let's face it, is Flick 'em Up. Flick 'em Up seems to be a dexterity cowboy game where you actually flick little discs around. You sort of, to move your cowboy, you would remove the cowboy meeple. It's all based on little wooden meeples. They've all got little cowboy hats, and it's really cool. You move it replace it with a wooden token, flick the wooden token across, and that would be where your cowboy would then land. You sort of have duels with people, try and take them out. You can end up in the same buildings as each other, in which case you then have to have a duel. You take a step closer each time if you don't miss people. Seems like, again, a really, really fun game. It's just nothing too, nothing too serious, but certainly something that's going to get a lot of laughs and a lot of play, I would say, in regards to, families. Just most gamers, I would say, are going to give this a shot, whether they actually like the idea of this dexterity game or not. But in regards to me, I really, really like the look of it. I've seen it, like I said, a couple of reviews of it, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So my number one most anticipated for GenCon 2015 is Flick 'em Up. So guys, that is my GenCon top 5 most anticipated releases of 2015. So here's hoping all of them actually get released and not just like 100 copies here and 100 copies there, which we've seen happen in the past. But that is my top 5 list. Guys, if you've got anything you'd like to see me do a top 10, top 5 of, just comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Guys, thanks for watching another episode of Beers and Board Games with me, Georgie. Catch you guys later.